and this is what it's going to return to, and the devil knows that it's going to like, the reason why we're telling you this, because it's going to return to that. Okay, it's not just a pat on the back and a root and make you feel cheerful for a temporal time. No, this is going back to that, bro. So this is what we're talking about. So again, man, like, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But now, when you're talking about now, what we're talking about with the Habashi and Syracuse and those Moors in the East and the Orientals, the East, when we're talking about the Orientals, we're talking about continental Africa, Arabian Peninsula, all of that so-called Middle East area, even stretching to Turkey, even stretching to Syria and Iran, even those places. Okay, we're talking about that. And those places we were ruling for a long time. When you're talking about China, and when you're talking about Mongolia, you know, we were down there too, right? We were down there too. But at the end of the day, there were abundance of what you would call Asians of today. There was abundance, and we just let them have their own society, and their societies was usually a hermit, like an isolated society. They will work amongst each other, like predominantly. It wasn't as on an international scope like that with China and Mongolia and Korea and those places. You know, it wasn't like that. So when it's talking about the empire, that wasn't our empire. Like those parts, that wasn't our land like that. You know, of course we were originally ruling down there for a long time, but we left those parts for them because again there were a lot of those people down there, and we left that for them. You know, we moved on to different lands and continents and places. You know, so it was another thing, and that's a lot of places, even in Europe. You know, same story. But when you're talking about what we are going through right now, you gotta understand your past, and you gotta understand who you are. You gotta accept who you are and accept where you're going. Okay. So now, even when you're talking about the name Morocco, because a lot of people think that the name Morocco or Morocco comes from the kingdom of Morocco down there, and it has nothing to do with that. Okay, because why? Morocco, El Morocco. Okay, El Morocco is a name for Mars, the red planet. Okay, Mars, the red planet. And that's all connected with Earth, because again, that history with Earth and the Mars goes much more earlier than people know of. Again, man, you had beings that came from Mars over here to live on. That story is true. But again, you have, that connection is us right now. Okay, so Mars, Moors, same thing. That's another name for El Morocco. So it goes. So you're telling me now Mars, that red planet, is not older than the kingdom of Morocco? That's in continental Africa? No. The star Morocco, which represents Beta Andromeda. The star Morocco, which represents Andromeda. Okay, because that constellation or that star system, Andromeda, that is a galaxy which is a twin galaxy to this Milky Way galaxy. Andromeda, that's a twin galaxy to this galaxy. Okay, so you're telling me Morocco represents Beta Andromeda? That's what you're telling me? And let's check that out. The star Morocco is actually on the left hip, or on the belt, or the girdle in that galaxy of Andromeda. It's actually located down there. So that has high responsibility. You're dealing with the twin galaxy for our galaxy over here. Okay, and know that Marak, that Beta Andromedon star,